Welcome to Home Care Business Insights, your go-to resource for exploring the many aspects of running a successful home care business. Whether you're an industry pro, new entrepreneur, or just curious about the industry, this podcast offers strategies, tips, and solutions to help you succeed. While AI-generated voices host the episodes, the insights are real and designed with your growth in mind. Let's dive into what matters most in building a thriving home care business. Now let's hear from our AI hosts.
Hey everyone, and welcome to the very first episode of Home Care Business Insights.
I'm excited to be here.
I'm so excited to be kicking off this journey with you all.
Yeah.
We're here to provide a deep dive into the world of home care for all of you entrepreneurs and industry pros out there.
Absolutely.
Who are ready to make a difference in people's lives.
It's a fantastic field to be in, and we're thrilled to be your guides.
Yes, and you've come to the right place.
At Caring Senior Service, we've been helping people navigate the ins and outs of home care for years.
Yeah.
And we're passionate of sharing what we've learned.
You know, we couldn't have picked a better time to launch this podcast.
That's true.
We're seeing a massive boom in the home care market, and it's only going to get bigger.
Huge.
Think about this. 8,000 Americans turn 65 every single day.
Every day?
That translates to a huge need for care.
Yeah.
A need that's only going to grow.
Exactly. By 2030, the U.S. will have 72 million seniors.
Wow.
And that number jumps to 80 million by 2040.
That's incredible.
That's a staggering market with incredible potential.
Yeah.
And what's fascinating is that even with all the economic ups and downs we've seen,
Right.
home care businesses are proving to be incredibly resilient.
I was reading that Always Best Care, a home care franchise, saw a 150% increase in inquiries in just the first half of 2021 alone.
Wow.
That really speaks volumes about the demand and the staying power of this industry.
It does.
But I bet you, as someone looking to dive into home care, you're probably wrestling with that big question.
The big one.
Independent versus franchise.
Yes.
Is the ultimate fork in the road for aspiring business owners.
You hit the nail on the head. It's the first big decision you face.
Exactly.
Do you go solo, build your own brand and call the shots, or do you tap into the established system and support of a franchise?
Well, you've come to the right place because we're going to break down both models using some insightful articles from Care Academy.
Great source.
And one that directly compares independent versus franchise businesses. We're going to help you figure out which path aligns best with your goals and your personality.
Absolutely.
So let's start with the elephant in the room. The financial side of things.
Money matters, right?
It does.
And both models have their own financial realities.
Okay.
Going independent typically means higher upfront costs.
Okay.
You're building your brand from scratch,
Right.
creating your marketing materials, setting up your systems.
You're doing it all.
And that all adds up, but you have complete control over where and how you spend your money.
But wouldn't that also mean more risk?
It could.
You're footing the bill for everything, and there's no guarantee that your initial investments will pay off, right?
That's true. There's definitely more financial risk up front with an independent business.
Okay.
But with franchises, while the initial investment is often lower,
Okay.
you've got those ongoing fees to consider franchise fees and royalties.
Okay. Now you're talking my language.
Right.
Can you break down those fees for our listeners who might not be familiar with the franchising world?
Of course. So a franchise fee is a one-time payment you make to the franchisor for the right to use their brand and business model.
Got it.
It's like an entry fee.
Okay.
Then there are royalties, which are ongoing payments, usually a percentage of your revenue.
So imagine you make $100,000 in revenue and your royalty agreement is 5%.
Okay.
That means you'd pay $5,000 back to the franchisor.
Yeah.
It's like an ongoing cost of doing business as part of their system.
Right. But remember, franchises also benefit from bulk buying power.
Oh, interesting.
They can often negotiate lower prices on supplies and services because they're part of a larger network.
That makes sense.
That can actually lead to higher profit margins over time, even with the royalties.
So it's like a trade-off.
Yeah.
A higher initial investment with more control for independent businesses.
Right.
Versus lower upfront costs but ongoing fees for franchises with the potential for cost savings down the line.
Exactly.
Interesting. Okay.
And this brings us to another crucial aspect, support systems.
Okay.
Being independent means you're the boss of everything. You handle the marketing, Navigate the regulations, recruit and manage caregivers,
Right.
and build your brand from the ground up.
It sounds exhilarating for some,
Oh, yeah.
but I imagine it can also feel overwhelming, especially if you're new to business ownership.
Absolutely. It can be a steep learning curve.
I bet.
And that's a big reason why many people are attracted to the franchise model.
Okay.
Franchises offer that plug-and-play appeal.
Like that.
You get a proven business model, training programs, and ongoing support from experienced professionals.
It's like having a mentor on speed dial, right?
Exactly.
You mentioned Caring Senior Service earlier. What kind of support did they provide to their franchisees?
We offer a platform called Caring Hub, which streamlines a lot of the day-to-day operations for our franchisees.
Wow.
It helps with things like caregiver recruitment, client lead intake and scheduling,
That's off.
freeing up time for franchise owners to focus on growing their business.
It sounds like a valuable resource,
Awesome.
especially for those who might not have a ton of experience in the home care industry or business management in general.
It is.
But let's flip the coin and talk about control.
Okay.
Independents have ultimate freedom, right?
They
They choose their services, their branding, their marketing strategy, and they can even pivot and expand as they see fit.
There's tremendous appeal in that autonomy.
There is.
But with a franchise, you're agreeing to follow their playbook.
Right.
You benefit from brand consistency and operational efficiency,
Yeah.
but you're bound by the franchisor's decisions even if you don't agree with them.
So it's like a trade-off again.
It is.
Total freedom and flexibility with an independent business, but potentially more risk and a steeper learning curve.
Right.
With a franchise, you have a proven system and support, but less autonomy.
Yep.
How do you weigh those factors when making a decision?
It really boils down to your personality, your risk tolerance, and your long-term vision for your business.
So are you a risk taker?
That's one question to ask yourself. Do you thrive on forging your own path, even if it means more challenges?
Right.
Or do you prefer the security and guidance of an established system?
That's a great point. It's not just about the business model, it's about finding the right fit for you as an entrepreneur.
Exactly.
But before we dive into the nitty-gritty of making that decision, let's talk about brand recognition.
Okay.
Franchises have a built-in advantage there, right?
Absolutely. When you join a franchise, you're instantly leveraging a known name and reputation.
Yeah.
Customers are already familiar with the brand, which can give you a significant edge in attracting clients.
But isn't relying solely on a franchise's name also risky?
It can be.
What if their national reputation takes a hit because of something that happens at another franchise location?
Right.
Doesn't that impact you even if you're doing everything right?
That's a valid concern. The actions of one franchisee can potentially affect the reputation of the entire brand.
Yeah.
But remember, franchisors have a vested interest in protecting their brand, so they usually have stringent quality control measures in place to minimize that risk.
So it's a bit of a double-edged sword.
It is.
You benefit from the brand's reputation, but you're also tied to it.
Right.
And for independent businesses, building that recognition takes time and effort.
It does. Independents have to create their brand from scratch.
Right.
Which can be challenging, but also incredibly rewarding.
For sure.
You have complete control over your messaging, your values, and the experience you create for your clients.
It's like building a legacy, right?
Yes.
It's your vision, your values, your stamp on the world.
It is.
But that can also feel daunting for someone just starting out.
It can. There's a lot of work involved in establishing yourself in the market, building trust with clients, and differentiating yourself from the competition.
So we've talked about finances,
Yeah.
support control,
Yeah.
and brand recognition.
Yep.
I'm sensing a theme here.
What's that?
It seems like every aspect of this decision comes with its own set of trade-offs.
You're absolutely right. There's no one-size-fits-all answer. Right.
The best choice depends on your individual circumstances, your goals, and your comfort level with risk.
Okay.
And to help you navigate those nuances,
Yes.
let's shift our focus to risk assessment.
Let's do it.
When it comes to risk, franchises are often perceived as the safer bet.
Yeah, I can see that.
You're following a proven system, you've got the franchisor support,
Right.
and there's less guesswork involved.
But you did mention earlier that even franchises aren't immune to risk.
That's true.
So what are some of the potential downsides or challenges that franchisees might face, even with that support system in place?
Well, one thing to consider is that your success is still largely dependent on your own efforts.
Okay, so you can't just coast.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You're responsible for managing your finances,
Right.
marketing your services,
Makes sense.
and building relationships in your local community.
Still have to do the work.
You do.
Yeah.
The franchisor provides guidance, but they can't guarantee your success.
Right. It's not like a magic formula.
And as we discussed earlier, the actions of other franchisees can also impact your business.
That's right.
Even if you're doing everything right.
Reputation is a shared asset in the franchise world.
Got it.
And then there's the financial risk of those ongoing fees.
Oh, yeah, those royalties.
Exactly. If your business isn't performing well, those royalties can eat into your profits.
So it's essential to have a solid business plan,
Yes.
manage your expenses carefully, and be prepared for the ups and downs of entrepreneurship, even within a franchise system.
Absolutely. Now, on the independent side, the risks are often more pronounced, especially for those without prior experience in business or the home care industry.
I imagine it can feel like you're navigating uncharted territory.
It can be.
Where do you even begin to assess those risks?
Well, one of the biggest challenges for independents is building a brand and attracting clients.
Okay, so marketing is key.
It is. You're starting from scratch and you're competing against established businesses, including franchises with name recognition.
So tough landscape to break into. It can be. What are some strategies that independent home care businesses can use to level the playing field?
Networking is crucial.
Okay.
Building relationships with referral sources like hospitals, doctors, and social workers can help generate leads.
So word of mouth is really important.
It is. And focusing on a niche market or specialized services can help you stand out from the competition.
So instead of trying to be everything to everyone,
Right.
you find a specific area of expertise and become known for that.
Exactly.
What's an example of a niche market in home care?
Well, you could specialize in dementia care, post-surgical care, or even pet-friendly care.
Oh, that's interesting.
The key is to identify an unmet need in your community and tailor your services accordingly.
So finding that gap in the market.
Right.
So we've talked about the financial risks,
Yes.
the challenges of building a brand, and the importance of finding a niche.
That's right.
What other aspects of risk assessment should entrepreneurs consider when deciding between an independent and a franchise model?
Well, regulations are a big one.
Oh, of course.
The home care industry is heavily regulated, and compliance can be complex and time-consuming.
Especially for independent owners who are handling everything themselves.
Exactly.
Are there any resources or support systems available to help them navigate those regulatory hurdles?
There are industry associations like the National Association for Home Care and Hospice offer guidance and resources to help businesses stay compliant.
Okay, so there's help out there.
There is. And of course, hiring an experienced attorney or consultant can be a wise investment.
So it's essential to factor in the time and cost of regulatory compliance.
Right.
When weighing the pros and cons of each model.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And then there's the operational side of things.
Yeah, the day-to-day.
Managing caregivers, scheduling clients, handling payroll,
Keeping it all running.
and ensuring quality of care. It's a lot to juggle.
And I imagine those operational challenges can be amplified for independent owners
It can.
who might not have the same level of support or infrastructure as a franchise.
That's true. Independents often have to wear many hats and handle tasks that might be delegated within a franchise system.
So it's crucial to assess your own skills,
Yes.
strengths,
Uh-huh.
and weaknesses when making this decision.
Absolutely. Are you comfortable managing a team, handling administrative tasks, and troubleshooting problems on the fly?
Those are important questions to ask yourself.
They are. Those are key considerations for anyone considering the independent route.
And on the flip side, franchisees need to evaluate whether they're comfortable giving up some control
Yes.
and following a predetermined system.
Right. Not everyone thrives within a structured environment.
Right, if you're a free spirit.
Exactly. Some entrepreneurs crave the freedom and autonomy of building their own business from the ground up.
So it really comes down to finding the right fit.
It does.
Your personality and work style.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now let's shift gears for a moment and talk about a topic that's at the heart of the home care industry: training.
Ah, yes, training. Ensuring your caregivers are well equipped to handle the diverse needs of your clients is paramount.
Absolutely. And this is another area where franchises often have an advantage.
Yeah.
They typically provide comprehensive training programs that cover everything from basic caregiving skills to specialized care for conditions like Alzheimer's or dementia.
Those programs can be invaluable, especially for franchisees who might not have a background in healthcare.
Right.
They can rely on the franchisor's expertise
That's right.
to ensure their caregivers are receiving top-notch training.
Exactly. And these programs are often developed by industry experts and updated regularly to reflect the latest best practices.
Keeping things current.
Exactly. But that doesn't mean independent owners can't provide high-quality training.
Okay, so they have options too.
They do. It
Yeah.
just might require more effort and investment on their part.
What are some options for independent owners who want to ensure their caregivers are properly trained?
They can partner with local community colleges or vocational schools that offer caregiver training programs,
Uh-oh.
or they can seek out online courses and certifications.
So there's flexibility there.
There are also a number of reputable organizations like the National Association for Home Care and Hospice that provide training resources.
So there are definitely options available.
There are.
It's just a matter of finding the right resources and investing the time and money to ensure your caregivers are well prepared.
You got it.
But let's dive a little deeper into the nuances of training.
Okay.
What are some of the key areas that any home care training program should cover, regardless of whether it's a franchise or an independent business?
Well, first and foremost, it should cover basic caregiving skills like bathing, dressing, toileting, and meal preparation.
Those are the essentials.
They are, but it should also go beyond those basics and address things like medication management, fall prevention, and infection control.
So safety is a big part of it.
A huge part of it.
And what about specialized care for clients with specific conditions?
Right.
How do home care businesses ensure their caregivers are equipped to handle those unique needs?
That's where specialized training programs come in. For example, if you're providing care for clients with dementia, your caregivers need training on how to communicate, effectively manage challenging behaviors, and create a safe and supportive environment.
So understanding the nuances of different conditions.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's about understanding the specific challenges and needs associated with different conditions,
Right.
and providing caregivers with the tools and knowledge to provide appropriate care.
And what about ongoing training?
Right.
The home care industry is constantly evolving with new technologies and best practices emerging all the time.
It is.
How do businesses ensure their caregivers stay up to date?
That's where continuing education comes in.
Okay.
Both franchises and independent businesses should encourage their caregivers to pursue ongoing training opportunities, whether it's attending workshops, completing online courses, or pursuing industry certifications.
That's about creating a culture of continuous learning and improvement.
Exactly. Investing in your caregiver's training is not only essential for providing quality care,
Right.
but it's also a key factor in attracting and retaining top talent.
That makes sense. Caregivers who feel supported and valued are more likely to be engaged and committed to their work.
Absolutely.
So we've covered a lot of ground today, from the financial realities and support systems to brand recognition and risk assessment, and now the crucial element of training.
It's all connected.
As we wrap up, we want to emphasize that the decision between an independent and a franchise model is a deeply personal one.
It really is.
It's about finding the path that aligns with your goals, your values, and your vision for the kind of business you want to create.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
You know, it's interesting. We've talked about all these different factors, but at the end of the day, this industry is all about people.
That's so true. It's about providing compassionate care to those who need it most. And it's about building a business that makes a real difference in the lives of others.
And I think that's what draws so many people to this field. It's that desire to make a positive impact, but it's also about building a sustainable business, one that allows you to thrive as an entrepreneur.
Exactly. You need to be passionate about caregiving, but you also need to be savvy about the business side of things. And that's something we really emphasize at Caring Senior Service.
Now, I know you're part of Caring Senior Service, but what is it about their franchise model that makes it stand out in this industry?
Well, one thing that really sets us apart is our focus on collaboration. We believe that our franchisees are more than just business owners. They're part of a supportive community.
So it's not just about providing a system and letting them figure it out on their own. There's a real sense of community and shared learning.
Exactly. We encourage our franchisees to share insights, strategies, and best practices. We have regional meetings, online forums, and even an annual convention where franchisees can connect and learn from each other.
It sounds like you're creating a network of support where people can lean on each other, especially during those challenging early stages of building a business.
That's exactly right. We want our franchisees to feel empowered to succeed, not just as individuals, but as part of a collective.
And I think that resonates with what we've been talking about, the importance of support. Whether you choose the independent route or the franchise path, having a network of people you can turn to for guidance and advice is invaluable.
I couldn't agree more. And one thing that I find really inspiring is the dedication and passion of our franchisees. They're not just in it for the profits, they genuinely care about their clients and their caregivers.
I think that speaks volumes about the culture of caring senior service, and it's something that potential franchisees should really consider: the values alignment, the sense of purpose.
Absolutely. And, as we wrap up this deep dive, I want to leave our listeners with this thought.
What's that?
Choosing between an independent and a franchise model is a significant decision, but it's also an incredibly exciting one.
It is a big decision, but it's also a really empowering one.
Exactly. It's a chance to create something meaningful, to build a business that reflects your values and to make a real difference in the lives of others.
And whether you're drawn to the freedom and flexibility of independence or the structure and support of a franchise, the most important thing is to follow your passion, do your research, and choose the path that feels right for you.
Couldn't agree more.
And don't be afraid to reach out for guidance. Talk to other home care business owners, attend industry events, and gather as much information as you can.
That's great advice. Knowledge is power. And in this industry, it's also the key to providing compassionate and high-quality care.
Well said. Thank you so much for joining us on this inaugural episode of Home Care Business Insights. We hope you found this deep dive valuable, and we look forward to exploring more facets of the home care industry with you in future episodes.
It's been a pleasure. And remember, whether you choose to go independent or join a franchise, we're here to support you on your journey.
Until next time, stay curious, stay compassionate, and stay tuned for more insights and inspiration to help you thrive in the world of home care.